Wonderful day today. I wasn't going to do a video about Watchtower changing their view on college because I haven't been doing a lot of XJW material anyway. Um, but I received a comment on my YouTube channel in one of my other videos, and someone was asking me about my opinion on this, how I felt about it. And so I decided that I was going to put that comment on my Facebook page and get other folks' opinion on it as well. And I'm going to share that with you guys. Also, what they said. Let me open up my Facebook page so I have it ready um, so that I can go back and look at it. Jimmy Bell. Let's go to Jimmy Bell. And y'all know I don't do anything. I try not to do anything pre-recorded. I do everything live because it's just better that way for me. So anyway, but yeah, this is all the comments. So I'm gonna read the comment that I got from YouTube. Talk about that. Then I'm gonna go into the comments that I got on Facebook, and then I'm going to bring some receipts about what Watchtower said about college or what they implied. And so that way we can have this evidence for folks that would say, oh, no, Watchtower never said that. They never implied that. You know, try to use the Mandela effect on us that grew up in the organization and knew exactly what Watchtower implied about college. So let's go ahead. And I don't mean to trigger anybody, but I am going to be pulling information from the old reliable Young People Ask book, and then a bound volume, Wake 1990, June 8th, question from readers. So there is your trigger warning when I go to that information. So let's just go jump right into this comment that I received. And Yale is me. Yale is me is the person that sent me this question. And it says, I would be really interested to hear your take regarding something that to me, it's not controversial, but a lot of people make controversy over everything, so we'll see. For a long time now, I've been critical of higher education because so many people are getting degrees and then they go out in the job field, heavily burdened with debt, and there aren't that many job openings for their particular degree. So I'm going to stop right there and comment on that. Yes, there's so many different degrees they have out there right now that are basically useless. And, you know, all this student loan debt that these people are being burdened with, like she said, they come out of college and they owe $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 for a degree that is useless. I'm not going to give any examples of those degrees, but they can't do anything with them. So they end up being a college graduate and working at a fast food restaurant. Nothing wrong with working at a fast food restaurant, but that's not what they went to college for. And another thing, you got AI that is probably going to take out some fields that people would be going to college for to get a degree. So that's something to think about now. All right, let's continue on. Education in many cases has not made much sense in this country for a long time now. Totally agree with that. It sure did in the 50s and 60s, maybe even the 70s and part of the 80s. And I worked in a university setting. And people would come back as students and get yet another degree because the degree they first got was useless to them. So this brings me to the point of why. With AI making even very specialized jobs increasingly threatened or obsolete, why is the governing body now telling people it's okay to get a higher education? What is their goal there? Why would they do that now? I know they don't care about the people they claim to love. Is it so they don't look so draconian? Or is there another motive behind that? Just curious. Thank you. So to that commenter, my first reaction to that was, yeah, what I think they're trying to do is to make the Watchtower more attractive for younger folks. And the reason why is because they're losing people in droves. And when they lose people in droves, what do they lose with that? They lose money. So that's why I think personally that we've seen so many changes: the beards, the women wearing pants, the clicking of glasses, not having to report time and everything. So these people would be more attracted to join Watchtower. And in turn, when they join the Watchtower, then the brainwashing on them begins and they're stuck in there and giving their money to Watchtower. And so it looks like Watchtower is trying to rebrand itself to attract new recruits. So now let's go to my Facebook page. And I told those, let's see, for those that are interested, not that quote. Let me see. Hang on. Sorry about this, guys. Let me get to the right one. Oh, here we go. And I did not ask for permission from these folks. So if I can say their names. So I'm just going to read the comments. Okay. All right. So the first comment says, my opinion is that it will help the younger crowd make the organization look more modern, palatable, and inclusive. People's attention spans and memories are so short, the new recruits will not see much difference from the more progressive churches on how welcoming and modern they are compared to the Nazi like rigidity we grew up with, which I'm going to bring that out here in a second. Plus, with the onset of AI, again, AI is being mentioned, they can now really brainwash with amazing videos, audio, and seemingly inspired visuals to those who don't know the truth about them. Next comment, grow your own. They don't realize how many lawyers that they would need. So I wonder if they're going to be promoting law school because they're going to really need some. The next comment, I believe the governing body said this because they are slowly making these changes to get in line with the New World Order, just like one of the guests at the XJW convention said that the Illuminati is going to get rid of all religions and only allow the mainstream Catholic Church and Church of England to exist. But ultimately, it's the goal of having the one world religion, one world government. So the governing body probably knows they're going to be merging with the one world government and one world religion. I remember you, Jimmy Bell. I remember you, Jimmy Bell, posted a screenshot from Reddit that came from Super Pimi Bethelite that the governing body was going to start making changes with the trivial first, then later on with the important stuff. I did say that. So this is right in line with what this is right in line with what Rick Farron had mentioned at this past Saturday's Six Screens live show, that the Watchtower organization might be saying that Jesus really died on the cross. Okay, I didn't hear that. He stated, of course, don't take it to the bank and cash it, but that's what he's been hearing from some sources. However, I am for getting more education for a job because I did go to college when I went to the Kingdom Hall, but the thing about it, I just feel like it is a money trap and college is not for everybody. I actually did both. I also went to a vocational and trade schools too, so whatever a person is good at, they should get the education they need to be able to take care of themselves. Another one says, first order of inquiry, always follow the money. In my opinion, what is organization short of after members? Money. A couple of governing body members are original Watchtower Bible Tract Society stockholder families. Another comment, they are losing their young members and they are rebranding because of pressure from the judicial system and the government. And the last comment that I have at the moment, it seems now that people in the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses have children already going to college or university. I personally know of families who have children that are in college, or some have completed their bachelor's degree. The governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses has no other choice than to say it's all right to attend higher education and get a degree, because higher education in many cases is necessary even in an AI environment. Everybody's mentioned AI. Plus, higher education, once achieved, is something no one can take from you, whatever your station is in life. Critical thinking skills is something you acquire in college or university. Normally, we won't go there. That's another video. The organization of Jehovah's Witnesses is morphing into a mainstream religion and an AI online religion. The previous 1914 and 1975 generation people are either gone or dying off. If the organization wants to survive, then their doctrines and policies will have to change, or morph into something desirable to this younger generation. To me, it's a new business model and mission statement, the business organization of Watchtower Society. They have no choice, either change their business model or close the doors or morph into something else with the billions of dollars in real estate they have in their coffers. So, yes, I totally agree that they are trying to change their business model and morph into something different. But here's the thing, a lot of the new folks coming in don't realize why we, who grew up in this cult, are so angry about this because of what they implied before. So let's go to, and I can't see the comments, guys. It's just too small because it's on my phone. I apologize. So you can put them in the comments after the video post. So let's go to chapter 22 of the Young People Ask book, which was, oh my God, I even wrote in here when I received this book. June 30th of 1989. Anyway, so when was this published? 88, 89? All right, so this was published in 1989. Chapter 22, What Career Should I Choose? And under the first subheading, it says, It Didn't Mean a Thing. Now, what I'm going to share with you is read between the lines of what they're saying, okay? And compare that with what they're saying now. I did find something interesting here, and I'll share it with you guys. But anyway, let's go back to this. It didn't mean a thing. Glamorous, exciting, lucrative. That is the way movies and TV and books often portray secular careers. But to attain so-called success, career climbers must often vie with one another in a life and death struggle for recognition. Dr. Douglas LeBayer tells of how young adults, many with fast-track high-tech careers, report feelings of dissatisfaction, anxiety, depression, emptiness, paranoia, as well as a whole range of other physical complaints. All right, see what they're building here. Long ago, King Solomon exposed the futility of mere worldly success. Solomon built up astonishing list of career accomplishments, yet concluded Solomon from Ecclesiastes 2 verse 11, it's quoted as saying, even I, turned toward all the works of mine that my hands had done, and toward the hard work that I had worked hard to accomplish, and look, everything was vanity. And then in quotations it says, I realized that it didn't mean a thing. A job may well bring wealth and recognition, but it cannot satisfy one's spiritual needs. Satisfaction thus eludes those who build their lives solely around secular achievement. All right. So, what view are they presenting in those first two paragraphs? That, maybe that's not a great idea that we go. Drop down. I'm not going to read this whole chapter. I just highlighted a few things. Most pioneer ministers support themselves with part-time work, but what if later on the need to support a family? Surely one would never regret devoting one's youthful years to God's service. Wrong, Watchtower. There's a lot of us that regret devoting our youthful years to God's service. See how they're gaslighting there? Let's go over here. And then another part says, a university degree no longer guarantees success in the job market, says the U.S. Department of Labor. The proportion of university graduates employed in professional, technical, and managerial occupations declined because these occupations did not expand rapidly enough to absorb the growing supply of graduates. As a result, roughly 1 out of 5 university graduates who entered the labor market between 1970 and 1984 took a job not usually requiring a degree. This oversupply of graduates is likely to continue through the mid-1990s. So everybody's doing it, so there's not going to be room for you. So why would you do that? Why would you go and get higher education? Because, most people, they took a job not usually requiring a degree. See what they're doing. All right. Continue on. Universities may no longer have the riotous scenes of the 60s, but a decrease in university bedlam hardly means the campus environment is wholesome. Concluded one study of campus life, and they don't cite the study, how convenient. Students will have almost unlimited freedom in personal and social matters. Drugs and alcohol are used freely, and promiscuity is the rule, not the exception. If this is true of universities in your land, might living there thwart your effort to remain morally clean? So, would you, if you, hearing that growing up, we were like, oh, wow, college is a bad place to be. I remember when I wanted to play Little League Baseball, and my mom always brought out 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be misled. Bad association spoils useful habits. So if playing Little League Baseball was bad association for me, going to college was out of the question because, you had to, devote your youthful years to God's service. That was going to be better for you. Um, and it pisses me off, and I know it pisses off a lot of people that grew up back then because a lot of us, we had grades that we could get. I had four scholarships. Four. Four scholarships because I got straight A's in high school. I mean, and I turned them down because I was in my head, it was my duty, it was my mission, I guess, to be a pioneer, take a part-time job as an electrician, and devote all this time to Watchtower, disguised as being Jehovah. So then it says, employment prospects and educational systems vary from place to place. Youths have different abilities and inclinations. And while a career in the Christian ministry is recommended as being beneficial, here's a kicker: it is still a matter of personal choice. Let me read that again. This is from 1989. I don't remember it being a personal choice because of all the propaganda that we were fed, that how bad it was. So we just overlooked that. And while a career in the Christian ministry is recommended as being beneficial, it is still a matter of personal choice. Are you effing kidding me? You and your parents must thus carefully weigh all factors involved in deciding how much education is right for you. Each one must carry his own load in making such decisions. Yeah, but how many incidents do we have of an elder's kid who wanted to go to college, but he would be taken out of the elder position because it wasn't setting a good example for the congregation if your kid went to college and you were an elder? Wow. This is why I don't do much of this stuff anymore, because it just pisses me off. Anyway, so now let's go to 1990, the Awake of 1990, in the June 8th article under Questions from Our Readers. Subtitle, Choosing Careers. Somebody writes in, FS from United States. Thank you for your counsel to young people on the value of university education. For the past 22 years, I have been a professor at a large state university, and I can assure your young readers that aside from the serious spiritual considerations, much of what is taught in universities these days has little practical value. Academic standards have dropped, and often graduates have few marketable skills. Doesn't that sound like what they said in the Young People Ask book? Also, in the past, some had concluded that a young Christian was to be condemned for enrolling in university courses under any circumstances. I therefore appreciate the balanced view expressed in your article. Okay. And the article apparently was from May 8th of 1989, and I do not have a 1989 bound volume. So if you guys want to go look that up, it's The Awake, May 8th, 1989. Watchtower's response to this was, parents must decide how much schooling is appropriate for their children, And while a career in the ministry is recommended for Christian youths, some job training beyond what is offered in secondary school is not objectionable in itself. In some lands, it may be practical or even necessary to receive such training. Parents must weigh the benefits against the effects it might have upon the spirituality of their children. In any event, a Christian's priority must be the advancement of kingdom interest, not financial advantage. So, Jesus, I hate reading that crap. I really do. So they had said back then that it's still a matter of personal choice. And just for the brief thing that I saw, which one was it? David Splang said that this was a conscious matter. But what we're saying is that's not what they were preaching from the podium. That's not what they were putting in their material. We knew college was bad and that we shouldn't be doing that. We should strive to go to Bethel or be a pioneer or something. So yeah, I agree. To answer the original poster's questions, and people will come to blah, 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 blah. So this brings me to the point. With AI making the government, is it okay to get a higher education? What is their goal here? So I really do believe that their goal is rebranding to get other people in, to try to expand their membership, to become more mainstream. I really do believe that. That's why they're doing this now. And of course, they don't care about the people in the congregation. They don't care about anybody. They just want the money. In all aspects of everything, you always have to follow the money. So, anyway, and then there was another brief thought I had. You go to universities, and the university, and this is more of a political thing, so I don't mean to offend anybody, but there's a lot, I'll just say it this way. There's a lot of indoctrination that goes on in the colleges. I'll just leave it at that. If you guys want to talk about that later, we can have that discussion, but I'm not going to discuss that right now. So anyway, thank y'all for joining in. Thank you for the poster asking the question. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. If somebody has a question for me, send it to me. And they even said, if I could even do a video, did they say if I can do a video? Even just a YouTube short would be great with your take on it. So I went a little further and did a video and went and did comments from other folks. So guys, thank you so much. And yes, I just saw Ruby Quinn pop in here. Programming note, the Unrelenting Political Corner will be on tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to cover some of the homework that I wrote down. I did some research on some of the things that we talked about last week, and I'm not exactly sure what Ruby has on tap, but tune in and watch us. And if you want, join the stage. Click the link, join the stream, and come on stage and share your opinions and your thoughts if you have questions for us as well. We really do enjoy doing the Unrelenting Political Corner. It's a lot of fun for us, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. So anyway, thank you all so very much for tuning in. I hope I was able to answer the question, kind of bring some insight, and maybe you guys can use some of this stuff from the old light to let folks know that, yeah, Watchtower is full of shit. So anyway, I love you all very much. Take care. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow night on the UPC. Good night, everyone.